Hello, good people. Welcome to the show. We've got a great one for you tonight. This is Zip. I hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic out there. You got your mindset on lock and you're ready to go in the crypto world. A lot of information coming out today, and I'm going to try to get through it as fast as possible. Stick with me to the end. We're going to talk about the SEC crypto task force we now have. The scaling back of the SEC, big news out there, legislative news that came out today, and what's going on with our digital assets, tariffs, and the benefit they may have on stablecoins. A little bit of a perspective there. The crypto czar and the presser today, and what happened with that, and some information that came out about it. A discussion about BTC versus XRP. Again, a macro picture, the big picture. XRP, some XRP price analysis, some high numbers out there. And then the XRPL halted today. Again, we're going to go over all this, a lot to get into. Again, welcome to the show. I am Zip once again. Please hit the like, smash the buttons, the subscribes, share the information. We are trying to grow a community that resonates together and has the same mindsets and that wants to spend the rest of their lives after we all become millionaires on the beaches of the world together. With that, again, pay attention to the scammers, or don't pay attention to them, ignore them. Watch what you're doing. Keep your assets protected, and let's jump straight into it. All right, big news coming from Hester Pierce and the SEC. They have established a crypto task force. So again, the big theme for tonight is all things are moving in the right direction. We may not get the news we want to hear every day, about explosive news about XRP, hbar, but everything is moving in the right direction. And this is absolutely huge. So task force is being created. Hester Pierce is the head of that SEC task force. We go out here, you can go out to the SEC and look at what they're doing with the crypto task force. And she Hester did put out a huge letter about the journey begins. And I would encourage anyone and everyone to go out here and actually read this. There's a lot of good detail in here and some historical value about what has been happening over the course of the last 10 years or so within the SEC and where the SEC is going. But again, some of the things that they're going to be working on for us to get clear crypto regulation is security status, scoping out cryptos to help identify some areas that fall outside of this commission's jurisdiction, coin and token offerings, registered offerings, special purpose broker dealers. They're going to talk about crypto lending and staking, which is a big one. It says right here, they need to provide clarity about whether crypto lending and staking programs are covered by securities and laws. And if so, how we plan to work to help address such programs. The bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is that the government is turning the ship that has been going in the wrong direction and writing it the right way so that we have information on crypto and regulations on crypto and where we need to go with them so that the institutions that are coming on board as this financial system changes knows how to handle them. The projects, the Ripples, the Hederas know what to do and what they can't do. And it's all coming with this crypto task force. Absolutely great news. Along that same line, the SEC, with what's going on, they are scaling back their crypto enforcement unit. Absolutely fantastic. Some in the unit, 50 lawyers and staff that had been dedicated to bringing enforcement actions are being reassigned. That's great news. So if they're reassigning these folks and they don't need this regulatory force to go out and create havoc, that's going to be good for us as crypto holders. It's going to be good for all of the projects, because they won't be going out with a hammer to beat up on the industry and push everyone offshore, because as Trump has stated, we are going to be the crypto capital of the world. And we cannot do that if the projects and crypto as an industry is being hammered to death by the SEC. So again, huge news that is coming out and means a bright future for us as owners. Absolutely exciting. And I hope you're excited about that. What else is going on here? We see legislative work going on. Again, the government is changing, and they're changing their mindset to a clear focus and understanding within crypto. So the chairs of the Senate Banking, Senate AG, House Finance Service, and the House AG have formed a legislative working group on digital assets. And again, the AGs are agriculture, but all four committees now have subcommittees on what? Focused on digital assets. The new working group will harmonize the subcommittees and ensure progress in America. The future is bright, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely good news, and we're moving in the right direction. This is the big picture, and this is what we've been wanting, and we're getting it. Other news coming out. Bill was introduced today that is called the Genius Bill, and it stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation in U.S. Stablecoins Act, and aims to provide clear regulations for stablecoins. We know stablecoins are coming. We know they're going to be the front end of the technology, and they're important to the environment. Hence the reason why Ripple dropped the RLUSD, which is growing more and more every day, as we reported yesterday. But here are some of the highlights of the bill, which is based off the discussion draft that Haggerty rolled out. The Genius Act provides clear regulations for U.S. stablecoins. Again, that's all we've ever asked for. We need clear regulations so we know what road to travel on as we're modernizing the financial system. It defines stablecoins as digital assets pegged to the USD, establishes licensing and reserve requirements for issuers, applies Fed rules for issuers greater than 10 billion, state rules for less than 10 billion, and it also supports financial inclusion, efficient transactions, and dollar supremacy. Again, to be the crypto capital of the world, we need the stablecoin regulation to come in place, and that is exactly what is going to be happening. Remember, David Sachs, in an interview within the last week or so, said that he believes that the United States could have regulation within 6 months. They are moving fast, folks, really fast, which is great news for us and the bags that we hold. Again, I am a utility maxi. I love the ISO 222 projects. So hbar, XLM, our XRP, SHX, and many more. But I also like Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about a little BTC here in a minute. But again, another positive movement in the macro view of where we're going. We got to remember, we have to have that long-standing vision. Things are not going to happen instantaneously. We've screwed things up for a real long time, and it's going to take a little bit of time to unfold it. And if you go back to the SEC letter that Hester Pierce wrote, she kind of walks through some of that. They have to unwind these things, and we want to make sure we do it right and we get it right the first time. So it's going to take a bit of time, but as I've been saying, the next 6 months to a year are actually absolutely going to be exciting. Now, within stable coins, as we know, they're going to be the front end. Smoke came out with an interesting analysis here and just a different perspective. Everyone's up in arms about the tariffs, and some folks are nervous, and maybe the markets are reacting a little bit to that. But case in point, and this came out from Bloomberg, but Tariffs actually increase the cost of cross-border trade, driving demand for more efficient payment solutions. But what could be more efficient than stablecoins? Stablecoins provide faster, cheaper transactions, reducing reliance on traditional banking systems. With U.S. stablecoin legislation set to pass this year, regulatory clarity will accelerate adoption. And that's exactly what we want. We want adoption of the digital asset industry to include stable coins and our precious assets that we hold now. So as we read down in what came out from Bloomberg, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has noted recently that Trump prefers tariffs over sanctions, as the latter push countries away from the dollar. Remember, that weakens the U.S. financial system. If so, Trump would like to prioritize the stablecoin bill in Congress, as it would enhance the dollar's functionality, reinforcing global dominance. And that is what Trump is doing. He is all about America first, but when America wins, the world wins. And we level that playing field that we are talking about. So again, stable coins, don't miss that. They are big. They're something that we need clear regulation about, and it's coming. So today we had the crypto czar and the congressional committee come out and talk to us this afternoon, and really not too much came out of it. We were hoping to hear our favorite 3 letters in the alphabet, XRP, mentioned. However, that did not happen. They did mention a little bit about the Bitcoin reserve and the stockpile of assets and whatnot. But for the most part, there wasn't anything earth-shattering. However, this little clip here, excuse me, discusses Internet 3.0 and the Internet of Value. If you recall earlier this week in my video, we were talking about the Internet of Value and what Brad and Ripple were looking at, meaning we want the Internet of Value to be able to move financial products as fast as we move data. Let's take a listen to what the Congressman GT had to say.
You know, America really was a leader when it came to Internet 1.0. It was the Internet of knowledge. And the Internet 2.0, again, it was America that led that for the world, not just for our citizens, but for the world. And that was the Internet of things. And then Internet 3.0 is what we're talking about today, and that's the Internet of value. And we're approaching it in a principled way. Colleagues here mentioned a couple of those. Number one, do no harm. Protect consumers, regulatory structure, that certainty. And secondly is foster innovation, because the opportunities are unimaginable.
Unimaginable. The opportunities are unimaginable when we have an institution and administration, to include the SEC, behind us. And Internet 3.0 and Internet of Value is coming. And that is the transformation of the current financial system, an archaic system that is being updated and modernized with ISO 222 coins being implemented March 10th. Remember that date. Smoke put out another one out here, Bitcoin versus XRP. There's this whole narrative that's kind of being reversed in his perspective, right? Now, remember, I'm a utility maxi. However, I believe in Bitcoin, and I believe it is here for the long run. However, Bitcoin is an older technology, and it does not have the capability of a lot of the newer DLT technology. Ripple does not have the capabilities that Hedera has, or XLM. Remember, it's about tokenization. And in all honesty, Bitcoin is going to ride on top of the XRPL, and that's how it's going to be able to be scaled more efficiently. So it's not as slow. However, the IMF, as we reported earlier this week, they are pushing away from that. We saw Christine Lagarde push away from Bitcoin and say that the EU will not have a Bitcoin reserve, and there's some hesitancy there. And IMF has been pushing away from it as well, and it's in their documentation because why? Bitcoin falls out of what the system is, okay? Ripple, XRP, and some of these other technologies are falling within the system. They're working with the systems. They're ISO 222 compliant. Therefore, they're going to be used inside the system. So the question of whether a given crypto asset will be recognized as part of the formal payment system will largely depend on how it is meant to be used in a given jurisdiction. Bitcoin and Ether often fall outside of that jurisdiction system, while Ripple and XRP often fall within the system. Remember, Ripple from the very beginning has been working with the banking institutions and working within the system, trying to work with the SEC, which got them into trouble because of the current administration, the staff, and the director that were at the SEC. So again, in the system and out of the system, I'm going to put my money on those technologies, those cryptos that fall within the system and are going to work with the system, because we're not going to get rid of the banks and such. And more news to point toward this, we saw where El Salvador is this headline says, bend the knee on Bitcoin to comply with the IMF, because the IMF wanted them to kind of slow roll their Bitcoin. Last December, the IMF urged El Salvador to scale back its Bitcoin experiment, citing the volatility of the cryptocurrency and its limited real world use. Ladies and gentlemen, the stuff that we talk about on this channel, it all has utility and real world use. Tokenization, movement of money, real world use. And that's why it's exciting to be in this environment. Our friend Charles Hoskinson came out, and what did he have to say about what is going on in the US and what could happen within the next few years? Let's take a listen.
The US government is going to be, in the next 5 years, one of the largest procurers of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. It's entirely possible our voting systems, our government procurement systems, our payment systems, our identity systems, and our central bank function, as well as how the US government works with its citizens, all will have some form of blockchain connection within 5 years because of this government. If the US does it, everybody's got to be interoperable with it. So by extension, 20 to 50 countries will adopt the same.
Again, with the full US backing and the president and his administration and the staff and the SEC backing crypto, we know what happens when America takes the lead on technology. We rise to the top and everyone else follows. So within 3 to 5 years, he's saying everything could be within DLT on some blockchain. All of our voting mechanisms, our banking systems, payments, IDs, everything can ride on this technology. That's why we need the regulation, and that's why we want to slow roll this and ensure that we don't move too fast, because we want to get it right and we want to pull everyone with us to level that playing field so that all boats rise. As one succeeds, we will all succeed. And that's where the transformation is going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about a little bit of price action. We love, and that's why we're here. We want to see prices. We want to see number go up. We want to see our portfolios go up so that we can take profits and possibly retire, become millionaires, multimillionaires, whatever your goals are in life, generational life or wealth with that. But Steph came out and he's talking about he's only third time in XRP's history we've seen this weekly hammer candle. Now I'm not a chart guy. I just like to follow them and just see what they're saying. And it's very interesting, but he points back to 2013, 2017, and then what happened, complete spike up, and where we are right now. So the last two times this led to 2,000% plus moves. Could we handle a 2,000% move upward with XRP, hbar, XLM, SHX, XDC? 100%. I could absolutely handle that. That's what we're here for. What did Dark Defender have to say as far as price expectation? XRP continues the daily correction and consolidates under the $3 level, which will be the break-even point for continuing with targets. Wave 3 indicates $5.85 at sight and closer than ever before. We're there, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming. This structure aims at $8 plus levels with its fifth wave shortly. And again, nothing we say is financial advice, but this is definitely starting to get exciting, and I hope you're excited and you're here with us to cross the finish line to $8 plus. There's other forecasts out there that have much larger numbers. Again, I try not to put too much hype and hopium in it, but at the end of the day, my macro view, I know what I hold in XRP and hbar and a lot of these other projects, and they're worth a lot more than the value that they're at today. So again, stay with us. Let's get to the finish line together. And lastly, there was some news out there that you may have heard that the XRPL halted today. And most news, when you read it and you hear that, you go, oh my goodness, that's bad news. But it's not as bad as what you think. It's built into the system. It's built into the environment. And I don't want to play this whole video because we're running a little longer this evening, but I do want to get out and give you confidence. Please, if you're new to this environment, don't think that XRP is broken. Don't think and listen to some of these comments that XRP is a failure. It absolutely is not. The halting is meant to happen. It's built into the system. It's decentralized. That's what it's supposed to do. No one had to go in and restart anything. It just kind of fixes itself without getting into the technicals. But David Schwartz came out and said the network is now recovering. We don't know exactly what caused the issue yet. I'm sure that will be coming out. But super preliminary observation, it looked like the consensus was running, but validations were not being published, causing the network to drift apart. Validator operators manually intervened to choose a sane starting point after the last ledger that anyone could have seen as fully validated, and then began publishing validations from there. Again, this all can be done without coordination, but it's always better to get a second and third opinion. So they're looking at things. But the bottom line is once the servers and everything and the validators started to see each other again from a few services, they were able to build enough consensus and pull the network over. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. So don't lose hope. Don't sell your bags. Hold on to what you got. Not financial advice. You do you. Zip will do me. But I'm holding on to the very, very end because I know exactly what I hold. And I am excited about it. And I hope you are just as excited about it. I hope that you enjoyed the content tonight. I'm trying to put out the latest and most that I can, and just to keep you engaged. Again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, spread the word. Let's grow the community. And until tomorrow, Zip is out.